After 25 days without a league game, Rovers made the perfect return to action with a 2-1 win at Swindon Town on Saturday. Tonight they're back at the Keepmoat Stadium to take on Rochdale in Sky Bet League One, a team who have scored and conceded 10 goals in their last 3 league games. It's Rovers against Rochdale from 7 p.m.
Obviously we've got still a few games in the teams around us, but we're in good form. I think we've won 5 of the last 6 or something, so we want to keep that momentum going, obviously starting with tonight's game.
After a tricky period over Christmas where games were called off left, right and centre, the lads have really picked up where they left off, haven't they, in recent weeks?
Yeah, definitely. We've obviously, I think, talking about myself, I was itching to get back. Obviously, it's not ideal being in isolation, but obviously to make sure that everyone's well recovered. But then to go with 3 days into the Blackburn game and put a performance like we did, and then go again on Saturday and get another win as well, I think it just showed the character of the group.
In terms of tonight's game against Rochdale, scored and conceded 10 goals in the last 3 games, as I touched on earlier. What do you make to them as a team in the division?
Well, obviously, yeah, they're quite open team, scoring a lot of goals, obviously shown by the results, but on the other hand, there are places that you can exploit them. So we'll be looking to do that, obviously keep our run going and try and get the victory.
Liam, it seems an age since Rovers' last game here against Shrewsbury, that frustrating 1-0 defeat. I'm sure Darren Moore will be as eager as anyone for his team to get back to winning ways on home soil tonight.
Yeah, and I think the way that they bounced back from that break as well, and that obviously came on the back of that defeat, and really hit the ground running again with that brilliant performance at Blackburn, and then, as you said, taking it into Saturday's game at Swindon, and another fantastic performance on that one. But getting back to winning ways on home soil will be top priority.
Rochdale, an open team as we touched on there, but Rovers pride themselves, don't they, on being hard to beat. So how do you see it sort of playing out?
You'd like to think that with the defensive solidity, and we've seen it in the last 2 games, definitely, that they'll be able to keep sort of Rochdale at bay, and we know what happens when Rovers get the opportunity to really play the ball about and open up spaces in the opposition. So I'd like to think it'll be a pretty decent night for Rovers. Before
Christmas, it was a lot of Saturday, Tuesday. We're getting into that sort of stage again now. I think it was touched on in Darren's press last week that 28 games to play in the league in the second half of the season. You add to that the FA Cup run that Rovers are still on, it's going to be a really busy schedule. It's relentless. We've been through busy periods already this season, and you think that after Christmas that it calms down a little bit, but it's not gonna, just because of those rearranged games, and maybe more to come. But it's just about keeping everybody fit, keeping everybody sort of up to speed, and seeing if they can get through it. As mentioned earlier on, Faye had a big part to play in the win at Swindon on Saturday, and here are the best bits from that one. Faye, a really big win then at the weekend. You scored both goals and they both seem to come at really important times in the game, one early on and one just before half time.
Yeah, I think the first goal was obviously good to get it so early. We've not really scored many early goals, so we started the game really well, and it was good to get a reward for that. And then we played pretty well throughout the first half, and to get the second goal just before half time obviously consolidated and ended up being the winner. So it was good timing for both of them. And the first half was really where we put our authority on the game. Second half was a bit different. We had to dig in a bit deeper and kind of protect the lead, but we managed to do that. So yeah, it was a good win in the end.
You mentioned after the game, I think, speaking to Liam about playing out wide allows you to make runs in behind like you did for the first goal. The hands were up claiming for offside, but when you watch it back, you time your run to perfection, didn't you?
Yeah, I think you can see throughout the move it's something that we've worked on in training. I think you can see that by the timings of the passes and the movement. It was a great ball from JMO. Like you said, it was just in time. Obviously, if the ball come any later, then it might have been offside, but it timed all perfectly, and I was happy to get on the end of it.
The second, a real poacher's finish as well, from getting on the end of Butts' knockdown just in front of the defender. That must have been just as a number 9 as well.
I was really pleased with that one, to be honest. Like in the box, just trying to stay on the move and just sniff out where the ball's going to go. So I was happy to get in between defenders and then get a good contact on it.
A lot's been made about celebrations in football, in particular over the past couple of weeks or so. As a number 9 and someone who's in the goals at present, have you got any planned if you were to score tonight?
To be fair, even on Saturday, we couldn't really. It didn't really cross my head about the social distancing.
It must be difficult to sort of regain your emotions.
No, it is. In the moment, it's hard. You have that rush and you're just happy. But I think we can only follow the rules, try and just clap hands and not group together. But that feeling of scoring a goal, you always want to share that feeling. Do you know what I mean? So maybe I'll have to plan something.
Liam, at the other end of the field, second half, particularly after Hallam Hope had got that goal back, Rovers were maybe not under the cosh, but under a little bit of pressure, balls into the box, which Tom and Butts were happy to head away for the majority of that second half, but it showed a steel and determination in the team as well.
That's there. It's an unflappability at the back that there's plenty thrown at. Again, we saw it the previous week at Blackburn and the quality of players that Blackburn had on the pitch, but they just don't look phased. And I think a lot of it, and it's down to men like Faye, the tracking back and the covering and the hard work that all the team puts in as well to help ensure that they keep opposition teams out.
I suppose that was summed up as well by AJ Greaves coming on for his league debut, and he did really well, didn't he? Sticking a foot in when it needed, but getting Rovers up the pitch as well.
I thought he was superb when he came on. That energy, I'm sure he was driven by a lot of adrenaline and the sense of the occasion, but cut an awful lot out, careered around the pitch as we know that he does. But there was a great opportunity when he cut a pass out and sent Rovers going forward, almost wrapping the game up.
Now, manager Darren Moore has been impressed by the job done by his opposite number, Barry Murphy at Rochdale. And here's what the Rovers boss had to say about Tuesday night's opponents.
I think I've got a lot of respect and high regard for Brian in terms of his team and the job that he's doing there at Rochdale. Plays football, so I'm expecting a footballing match in terms of two clubs that are going head to head and two styles of play that are suited to just what people may deem as football. And both of us lock horns and we go head to head. In terms of the match, they've been free scoring type of game. They've got a lot of players at the top end of the pitch that have a keen eye for goal, a lot of attacking flair. I mentioned him this morning to the players and the staff, and for somebody to still be in the professional game playing and contributing to the game, and believe you me, he's contributing to us this season, and to have the appetite that he's got and the hunger and the desire from a physical and a mental aspect is fantastic. And I've got nothing but the ultimate respect for James and his family in terms of where he's at in terms of his career and the longevity that he's had. And he'll be the first one to say he doesn't want it to stop here. He wants to still maximize this season. And we just want to get him back fit so he'll just carry on from where he's left off. But he's been an absolute wonderful servant to the game and an absolute impeccable servant to the football club on and off the pitch. And it's a huge congratulations and a happy birthday from myself personally and us as a football club.
Faye, we know the manager is very meticulous in his preparation for Rochdale, even when there's such a short break between games. how important is it that he still gives the boys enough info to go out there and do a job on them?
Yeah, for every game we always have a detailed plan that the gaffer puts together, and tonight's no different. We know exactly what we're working on and how we want to win the game, so we'll be looking to implement that and carry on our good form.
Has that changed much for you in going from being sort of an out-and-out front man to being on the wing? Do you do different work in the build-up, perhaps, for when you're tracking back in games and following what the fullback's doing?
Yeah, I think it depends. Obviously, you've got to be adaptable to the formation that the other team is playing, but also we with the gaffer, it's about us implementing our style and opposition and how we want to attack and how we want to win the game. So yeah, playing on the left is different, but we all know our roles from training and how detailed the gaffer is, so we all understand each other's roles. So moving position like that it's not phasing anyone, including myself.
We've mentioned before, I think on the show, Liam, that Darren doesn't give too much away in his interviews, but you know that he knows everything there is to know about Rochdale.
Yeah, he can often make it. He doesn't really know what to expect from the opposition, but we know from speaking to people like Faye just how detailed that preparation is and how much he knows everything that's going to happen on that pitch.
And again, paying respect to his opposite number, Brian Barry Murphy, another young manager. It's probably not the easiest job at Rochdale, is it? You're sort of battling against the bigger clubs in the division, but from the results they've had recently and the goals they've scored, he's clearly got them playing a good brand of football.
It is good. It is, and it's good to watch. And I think that's a credit to the club that they're not too concerned that they are fighting against the bigger teams, but what they're bothered about is going out there and entertaining, and that's what they do on a regular basis. And we're getting the results as well. They've
sort of gone from one end of the managerial spectrum to the other, haven't they? In Barry Murphy replacing Keith Hill, and I suppose a big leap of faith in the young manager.
Yeah, he's somebody who knows that club through and through, and there's a lot about what Keith Hill did as well in there as well, and he's learned under him, and he's doing well. He's doing well.
Of course, we haven't had a show in a few weeks due to all the postponements, but one thing Rovers have produced is another good third kit. What do you make to that? Of course, James Coppinger celebrated his 40th birthday on Monday. What do you make to the new gold third shirt?
I like it. I think the third kit scheme each year has been great, and I think it's fantastic that this year has chosen to kind of highlight James Coppinger's contribution to this club as well. But yeah, looking forward to seeing the players in it at some point.
Faye, as someone who's probably going to have to wear that shirt in a few weeks' time, what do you make to the gold shirt?
Yeah, I like it as well. It's a great design. I'm looking forward to putting it on, and obviously, like you said, Cops is a legend of the club, and it's great that we're able to honour him in this way for his final season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting the kit on.
Of course, Calm are the sponsors on the front of it as well, and that was something that Cops mentioned when I spoke to him, having them on the front for all the work they do in helping people get through mental health issues, and the factors in him as well, him getting involved with it, the troubles he's had earlier on in his career, and he's now come out the other end of.
Yeah, we know it's something that's close to his heart and something that's going to continue to be as he tries to help footballers once he's finished himself as well. As I said, that the scheme every year to highlight various charities and good causes has been fantastic, and particularly at the minute with everything that's gone on over the last year, I think that's it's a worthy cause to highlight.
A more recent initiative as well, the West Ham game coming up on Saturday. I wasn't there, but I would have been. Initiative from the club, and what do you make to that?
I like it. Again, it's been stark with the FA Cup in terms of, I think that's reminded you more that fans haven't been present, and particularly getting a draw like that, what everybody would have been excited about, that first opportunity to go to the London Stadium. So for a way to be there in a sense is fantastic, and I think it's great what the club have come up with.
Faye, as a London boy, you must be buzzing for that tie on Saturday, but how much more exciting would it be if Rovers were taking 3,000 or 4,000 fans to the London Stadium?
Goes without saying, if the fans were there, it would have been a great experience, obviously, to bring lots of Rovers fans, and obviously me being from London, playing in West Ham Stadium would have been a great experience as well. But yeah, with the virtual ticket, that's obviously another way for the fans to still see the team, and we still feel their support even though they're not there.
Of course, the hope for the Rovers fans will be that there's maybe another virtual ticket coming up in the 5th round. A win at West Ham would set up an away tie at Manchester United or Liverpool, and it doesn't get any bigger than that at present.
It certainly doesn't. It's quite tantalising. It's really sort of teasing everybody, these 4th and 5th round draws being together, but there's a big task up first. But Rovers will go there with plenty of confidence and hopefully get that job done and set up that massive trip in the next round.
Someone who'll be key to that, I'm sure, Brad Halliday, who's shown his versatility this season, popping up on the wing and in holding midfield as well as his usual right-back role. And he says he's really enjoying adding that side to his game.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tough game. They have a lot of possession and they have a dangerous sort of threat going forward. They've scored a lot of goals. And it's similar to ourselves, really. There hasn't been one easy game this season. And it's the same for the rest of the season. Every game that comes, it's a difficult one, and each team possesses its own different attributes. So we just need to obviously work on that and find out teams' strengths and weaknesses, and stick to a game plan that's being given to us by the management team. Obviously, all different positions. So we've touched on it before. I think it's credit to obviously the team that if someone does get injured, someone can fill in, and they know the responsibilities within that role. So as you've seen throughout the full season, really, Reece James played a lot of different positions. Myself, even Joe Wright, going out to right back, something that he's never done before, but he's just as good.
Liam, we've seen Brad and Faye and a couple of other players as well used in different positions this season, and it shows, doesn't it, the ambition that Darren Moore has and the trust he has in his players as well.
It really does, and what I think it really does show, and we highlighted it in the work that's done on the opposition and the detail that's gone into it, it's detail about what Rovers do and what each player does in each position, and the fact that the rest of the squad knows that as well in case they have to step in. Speaking to Brad, he played in that position earlier on in his career and he's done it at senior level as well, but we know how attack-minded he is as a right back, so it's not just seamless stepping back into that position even if you have been in there before. But we saw in that performance at Blackburn how well he did, and it just continues that trend. Players have stepped in positions. Faye, of course, on wide on the wings, and Joe Wright at right back, Reece James in the middle of the park. There's not really been a bad performance in that, which is remarkable given the movement around the pitch.
I asked Brad this as well. Do you think the runs he normally makes from right back makes it easier for him in the middle of the park when he's receiving the ball in areas that he would do anyway?
It's true. I mean, when you watch him at times at right back, and we saw it definitely in the first half at Swindon on Saturday, the amount of time he spends in the opposition half, but inside as well, he's used to that. He's very comfortable in receiving the ball in a way that typically a right back wouldn't. And as I said, I think we saw that, and maybe we'll see it again as the season wears on.
Faye, does that show the fluidity in the team, do you feel? The fact that sometimes Brad and Cam or whoever's on the flanks are the highest players forward. You sort of see Brad making runs in behind. It might give you room to drop in deep and just create problems for the opposition. Yeah,
I think the way we play with our attacking style, everyone's involved. That's when we're going forward, you know, everyone has a role, everyone has a position to take. That's going to help us obviously create chances, and the fullbacks, like you said, are a big part of it, giving us width and obviously being high at the pitch, making runs in behind. So everyone's comfortable in different parts of the pitch, which is shown by when we change positions.
I'm guessing you're happy to be part of this squad and not an opposition team having to figure out who's going to play where every week.
100%. I think you can tell some teams when they play against us, you know, we make it hard for teams with the way we play. So I'm glad definitely to be part of it, for sure.
On to tonight's game then. Obviously the chance to make it 2 wins in a row in the league, a real big one, you feel?
Yeah, first game back at home this year. So we want to carry on from Saturday and put in another good performance. I'm looking forward to tonight's game, as everyone is, and hopefully we can get a good win.
I won't ask you for a score prediction, Faye, but Liam, I am going to ask you for one. How do you see it playing out? A big night for Rovers, really, considering the form they've been in. Definitely.
I would like to think that they'll manage to stop Rochdale's free scoring the side to their game, but continue that thing of Rochdale conceding plenty of goals. I think I'm going to go for 3-1 tonight.
Liam, Faye, thank you for your company. Thank you at home for watching as well. Head over to iFollow Rovers now for live, full and exclusive, full match commentary. It's Rovers against Rochdale from 7 p.m.
into the empty net.